Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character listener by me. So let's get into it. Midoriya Izuku, you had just come back from class and you're pretty exhausted, and most of all, it was really hot outside. And that's why you undid a couple buttons of your shirt. But you thought it was something very normal, very usual. You did not expect to see Midoriya here staring at you, like you had just removed the stars from the sky, like you had just taken constellations into your hands and brought them to him. You had no idea why he was staring like that, why his cheeks were bright red, over something so small and significant to you. You almost wanted to tease him at first, but resisted. A couple minutes or so, until ultimately you knew you had to give in to yourself. What are you looking at, Izu? Nothing, Mayan. Nothing at all, he says, blushing brightly and immediately averting his eyes away. But you can tell that they keep trying to look at you, because whenever he comes close to looking at you and your chest, he immediately looks away. You can't help but giggle eventually. Izu, you're not being subtle at all, you say, and he goes bright red. I'm not? Nope, you aren't. And after a little bit of fidgeting, he just sighs. I can't resist you sometimes, Ryan. It's really difficult for me, he says, barely able to stammer out the words, and you can only watch him for a couple seconds before deciding that he deserves some mercy. And that means you're gonna take initiative, at least for something simple as a hug, wrapping your arms around him and pulling him close. That's fine. I don't mind if you stare, but at least give me a compliment or something, he says softly, teasing, and although he's a little bit embarrassed and shy, he melts into your arms, smiling, with a bright blush on his face. If that's what you want, Ryan, he mumbles shyly, and you can't help but think that he's the cutest boyfriend that you will ever have in your entire life. Todoroki Shoto. Todoroki never really paid attention to people, be it they were shirtless or not. He never really cared, until you came along and flipped everything up onto its head. Because right now you were sleeping in the same room as him, and unbuttoning your shirt to put on another one. He couldn't take his eyes off of you as you unbuttoned the shirt, let alone as you were just about to take it off. And immediately your eyes went over to him, and you saw the way he was eyeing you. Wow, Shoto, I never knew you were the type. He swallowed, feeling like there was a lump in his throat, and his tongue was suddenly dry. He was blushing, nervous. Type? What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, that exactly, he says softly, not really upset with him. But he's a mess, on the inside and outside. And you can't help but just keep witnessing it and finding it utterly adorable. So, once you're done teasing him and feel like you've done enough damage, you sit on his lap, watching as he looks a little bit more startled, shy, and nervous. But you take his hands and put them around you gently. You can hold me, Shoto. I'm not really upset with you. I like it when you pay attention to me, you say with a soft smile, and though it makes him blush brighter, he loves hearing that from you, knowing that you like the attention that he gives you, that his feelings matter to you. And, well, it dealt with a lot of uncertainties in his mind. Mostly that he was bothering you or being perverted, but seeing as you liked that sort of attention and thought nothing of it, then that was good. He was happy that you were happy, and most importantly, that you were happy with him doing something that he was comfortable with and something that he wanted, which meant eyeing you a little bit longer than he should when you were undressing around him, but he couldn't help himself. You truly made it difficult. Bakugou Katsuki. Katsuki was really not the type to look at you a lot, because most of the time he didn't pay attention or just didn't care and was not in the mood. But sometimes he just did things that he couldn't, well, look away from. Especially not when you were unbuttoning your shirt right in front of him. He may be a hothead and a brute sometimes, and maybe not really good with his own emotions and many, many things, but he was no idiot. And most of all, he loved you, even if he didn't show it well. So, seeing you dressed like that, it was bound to make some feelings rise in him, for sure. And he had no idea how to deal with them now. Lion, you. I am, you say, prompting him to continue. You didn't really think there was anything weird about you, with a couple of loose buttons, but Katsuki thought otherwise, because his eyes were straying away from your face and into somewhere else, and that's when he noticed what was going on with him, bursting out into laughter. Oh, Katsuki, could you at least be subtle when you're doing something like this? Doing what? He yells, blushing brightly, but then you cup his face in your hands and lean in to give him a soft kiss, quieting him down completely, getting him under your control, as you always manage to do somehow. I'm saying, if you're going to stare at me, or rather my chest, you may as well do it in a sneaky way, or compliment me, or maybe do something, whatever you see fit, but don't try to hide it. I'm not stupid, Katsu, you say, and he knows you're not. So that's why he takes you into his lap and bears his face into your chest, deciding it would be the perfect place for him to rest. And though that was not exactly what you asked for, it was something. You were not sure if it was the reaction you wanted, but it was a reaction nonetheless. And you stayed there with him, stroking his hair, and laughing at how clingy he was, and how he was so utterly in love with you, no matter how hard it would be to admit, if only through words.